Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, February the 18th, and we're here to look at new releases that are published this week. On Tuesdays, we look at crime fiction and thrillers, so the darker side. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight. They're at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. So 3 times a week, we are able to do some sprinting. 5 times a week, we look at new releases published in that week. All right, let us jump in. This first one is a series I have been reading. I'm a couple books behind, maybe more than that. This is called Cold as Hell by Kelly Armstrong, third in Haven's Rock. Haven's Rock series is a continuation of a previous series, so you should start with that one. Haven Rock is a sanctuary town hidden deep in the Yukon for those who need to disappear from the regular world. Detective Casey Duncan and her husband, Sheriff Eric Dalton, are starting a family now they've settled into their life here. As Casey nears the end of her pregnancy, she lets nothing, including her worried husband, stop her from investigating what happens in the forbidden forest outside the town of Haven Rock. When one of the town's residents is drugged and wanders too close to the edge of town, she's dragged into the woods kicking and screaming. She's saved in the nick of time, but the women of the town are alarmed. Casey and Eric investigate the assault just as a snowstorm hits Haven's Rock, covering the forest. It's there they find a frozen body naked in the snow. With mixed accounts of the women's last movements, the two begin to question who they can trust and who they can't in their seemingly safe haven. The Quiet Librarian by Alan Eskins. Hannah Babbitt is a quiet middle-aged librarian in Minnesota who wants nothing more than to be left alone. But when a detective arrives with the news that her best friend has been murdered, Hannah knows that something evil has come for her, a dark remnant of the past she and her friend had shared. 30 years before, Hannah was someone else, Nura Divjak, a teenager growing up in the mountains of war-torn Bosnia, until Serbian soldiers arrived to slaughter her entire family before her eyes. The events of that day thrust Nura into the war, leading her to join a band of militia fighters, where she became not only a fierce warrior, but a legend, the deadly Night Mora. But a shattering final act forced Nura to flee to the United States with a bounty on her head. Now someone is hunting Hannah, and her friend has paid the price, leaving her 8-year-old grandson in Hannah's care. To protect the child without revealing her secret, Hannah must again become the Night Mora and hope she can find the killer before the past comes for them, too. As I mentioned, this is the darker side. Good morning, Kim. How are you? Midnight Black by Mark Greaney. This is 14th in the Gray Man series. A winter sunrise over the Great Plains of Russia is no cause for celebration. The temperature barely rises above zero, and the guards at penal colony IK-22 are determined to take their misery out on the prisoners, chief among them one Zoya Zakharova. Once a master spy for Russian foreign intelligence, then the partner and lover of the Gray Man, she has information the Kremlin wants, and they don't care what they have to do to get it. But if they think 1,000 miles of frozen wasteland and the combined power of the Russian police state is enough to protect them, they don't know the Gray Man. He's coming, and none is safe. Cold, not as cold as you, but for sure. Yes, but for me, yes. Cold is cold. Hope you're able to stay home and cozy. Picks and Shovels by Cory Doctorow, third in the Martin Hench series. The year is 1986. The city is San Francisco. Here, Martin Hench will invent the forensic accountant. What a bounty hunter is to people, he is to money. But for now, he's an MIT dropout, odd-jobbing his way around a city still reeling from the invention of a revolutionary new technology that will change everything about crime forever, one we now take completely for granted. When Marty finds himself hired by Silicon Valley PC startup Fidelity Computing to investigate a group of disgruntled ex-employees who founded a competitor startup, he quickly realizes he's on the wrong side. Marty ditches the greasy old guys running Fidelity Computing without a second thought, utterly infatuated with the electric atmosphere of computing freedom. Located in the heart of the mission, this group of brilliant young women found themselves exhausted by the predatory business practices of Fidelity Computing and set out to beat them at their own game, making better computers and driving Fidelity Computing out of business. But this optimistic startup, fueled by young love and California-style burritos, has no idea the depth of the evil they're seeking to unroot or the risks they run. In this company, eat company city, Martin and his friends will be lucky to escape with their lives. End of row one. Shipwrecked Souls by Barbara Fradkin, 12th in the Inspector Green Mysteries. When Anya Kurchenko, a woman recently arrived in Ottawa from Ukraine, is found murdered in an obscure alleyway, the only clue is a scrap of paper in her pocket with the name Simka Grunstein written in 3 different alphabets. No such person seems to exist. While the police try to trace her past movements, an elderly man named Simon Stone, who lives nearby, is also murdered, and Inspector Michael Green is called in to interpret the mass of documents about the Second World War and the Holocaust stored in Stone's basement. What is the link between the 2 victims? Who is Simka Grunstein? And could the murders be connected to something that happened during the war? As the police unravel the threads of betrayal and cover-up, Green finds himself on an emotional journey into his own past, where he uncovers long-hidden secrets and makes a startling discovery. Kim says, I'll go later for my usual. I was thinking you had a Tuesday lunch. The First Girl by Claire McGowan. She believed her serial killer ex was innocent, but now history is repeating itself. What does she really remember? Writer Karen Walker knows more than most about murderers. Her first love went on to become the Bagman, a notorious serial killer now locked away for life in a maximum security prison. Karen has spent her life running from the weight of having loved him, defended him, and ultimately leading the police to his door. But now, 10 years later, just as she's about to publish her account of his crimes, a young woman is abducted in horribly familiar circumstances. It can't be the Bagman, can it? He's safely behind bars thanks to her, but she has to know for sure. Returning to the hometown she thought she'd left for good, Karen is drawn into a deadly game of cat and mouse with the man she's never escaped. If there's any chance of saving the kidnapped girl, she'll have to face up to what really happened back then, once and for all. The Kwangshan Opera by Eric Van Neff. An erotic thriller filled with crime and suspense like you have never read before. In the heart of Guangzhou, China, Sansan finds herself thrust into an arranged marriage with Giri Kwan, a tyrannical figure who owns a laundry and garage in San Francisco. Trapped in a loveless union, Sansan endures Giri's brutality, refusing to return to her parents' home in shame. As she toils away in the laundry, Giri's demands escalate, leading her into the depths of Chinatown's most exclusive brothel, Blossom Wong's, the house of delirious harmony. Caught in a web of secrets and deceit, Sansan's life takes unexpected turns as she grapples with the complexity of her situation. Despite the darkness that surrounds her, she finds solace in the refined elegance of the brothel, guided by the enigmatic drinking game. Madame Blossom Wong. However, tragedy strikes when Sansong's clandestine affair with the wealthy Japanese businessman takes a devastating turn, plunging her into a world of danger and uncertainty. With danger lurking around every corner, Sansang must navigate treacherous waters where every choice comes with a price, and trust is a luxury she can't afford to lose. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart by Barbara Freethy. Freethy? Kim, have to call and reschedule my lab work for tomorrow. It's supposed to be rainy and cold, plus don't have the money right now. I get that. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. The Gaslight are back. Hopefully finish up today. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy this is going to finally happen. The strongest lies aren't the ones we tell others. They're the ones we tell ourselves. I thought I'd found my fairy tale ending when Andrew Chadwick saved my life during a hotel fire and gave me a whirlwind love story I didn't think existed. But trusting him made me vulnerable, and believing in the impossible made me an easy target. 6 months later, we're celebrating our dream wedding at an exclusive island resort. Oh, don't do islands. Island resorts. Where every luxury imaginable is at our fingertips. It should be perfect. It should be paradise, but it's not. Trust is a fragile thing, and as cracks begin to form in our perfect life, I realize I might not know my new husband at all. Well, you've only known him about 6 months. The man I trusted with my heart is keeping dangerous secrets, and the closer I get to unraveling them, the more I realize it's not just my heart at risk, it's my life. And the road to. And Kim says, morning to Mary. Last Sign by Mary Stone, 13th in the Emma Last FBI mystery series. It's time to pay the exterminator. After barely surviving the ghosts of her past, Special Agent Emma Last is desperate to move forward, but just as she starts to believe she can leave it all behind, her colleague makes a shocking claim. She saw Emma in the afterlife, and she wants answers. Now Emma's sanity is in question, and she fears her career may be on the line. But any questions about what really happened during her last case are put on hold when a mutilated body is found, a tattoo cut from his skin. Emma and her team suspect gang activity, until they find a dead cockroach stuffed in his pocket, and a sinister email is directed to the police. Cockroaches overrun our city, and someone needs to do the cleaning. When a second victim appears, it's clear this isn't a turf war. It's a vigilante's hunt, a predator collecting trophies, and now Emma is the ultimate prize. But why? Read it and find out. 8 Years of Lies, a brand new blah 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 by Lisa Hall. Was my marriage always built on lies? How could everything unravel so quickly? My life wasn't perfect. School runs, late meetings, family dinners, but we were happy. Then a single Facebook post destroys it all. Please, can anyone help me? Have you seen this man? I'm Lydia French. This is my husband and child. They have been missing for several months, and I'm desperate to find them. I look at the photo of a man and a little girl smiling in the sun and freeze. They're not Lydia French's husband and child. They're mine. I get a call from the school. Tom hasn't picked up our daughter. He's not answering his phone. His boss says he didn't show up for work. Nothing makes sense. Panic claws my chest as I piece together the fragments of my shattered reality. The man I've lived with for the past 8 years, the man I've made a home, a family, a life with, isn't who I thought he was at all. The man I married has been lying to me about everything. Collateral by Mark Dawson, 7th in series. Charlie Cooper thrillers. In the opulent city of Dubai, a high-stakes game of espionage is about to explode when Iranian diplomat Aresh Haidari jeopardizes his position as a valuable CIA asset with a drunken outburst. British operative Charlie Cooper is thrust into a mission that is as dangerous as it is complex. Tasked with monitoring the increasingly volatile Haidari Cooper must navigate a treacherous world of secrets, lies, and betrayals. As Haydari closes in on critical intelligence, the mission becomes a race against time. Cooper's loyalties are tested as he fights to protect his cover, all while navigating a world where everyone has a hidden agenda. Good afternoon, Helen. How you doing? Mary says hello. Seem to be a lot of lies in this batch of books. Indeed. The Protector by Dan Lattis. 12th in the Frank Doy series. Frank Doy never wanted a fight, but he can't walk away from this one. Not now his oldest friend is under threat. It starts like any other day. Frank's out walking on the beach when a motorboat comes speeding into view, closing in fast. You in the boat, now! Barks the stranger on board, waving a gun at Frank. And that's not even the strangest part. The goons whisk Frank away to meet their boss, and it's someone Frank knows, formidable oligarch Leon Podolsky. He and Frank go way back, and now he's reaching out for one last favor. Leon's beloved sister Olga is in grave and imminent danger. Frank remembers Olga. Of course he does. Beautiful, kind-hearted Olga. She couldn't be less like her brother if she tried. But that doesn't matter to Leon's enemies. Hell-bent on vengeance, they're closing in on Olga's ramshackle old place out in the lonely Czech countryside. Keeping her safe out in the wilderness, besieged by enemies at every turn, sounds like mission impossible to Frank. But he knows he's got to protect Olga or die trying. End of that row. Find My Daughter by Jennifer Chase, 13th in the Detective Katie Scott series. She hears footsteps approaching, then the clunk of a heavy lock. Her body is numb in the cold, but she stands, determined to fight. A blinding light overpowers her, and the world goes black. When Detective Katie Scott finds a woman dying in the car park, blood pooling around her, she reaches her just in time to hear her utter the words, "Find my daughter." Katie doesn't waste a second gathering her team and pulling the case file for the missing child, Anna Braxton, a teen with sparkling blue eyes and an even brighter future. Staring at the blank investigation board, Katie won't rest until she fulfills Anna's mother's dying wish. Searching the Braxtons' impeccable family home, Katie finds Anna's journal filled with teenage secrets. Buried among the pages, she thinks she finds a lead. A strange man reached out to Anna just days before she went missing. But the case takes a terrifying turn when Anna's best friend also vanishes. Hours later, a girl's body is found in the embers of a house fire, her yellow satin dress devastatingly beautiful amongst the ashes. Is it Anna, her best friend, or another girl? One thing is certain, a monster has the close-knit community of Pine Valley in a chokehold, and Katie must get one step ahead of the killer before any more precious young lives are taken. But at what cost? All My Lies, or Lies, by Nell Lamar. A lie might hurt, but the truth can kill. All I ever wanted was to write a bestseller, and now finally I've done it. People ask me how, where did I get the inspiration? But I can never tell them because I have a secret. No one knows what I did, not my beloved husband or my busybody mother, and nobody can ever find out. It would destroy my career and I'd lose everything, including my precious baby. Then the threats begin. The ominous emails, the sinister letters, and the chilling gifts left outside my door by someone who knows the truth, someone who's stalking me and wants to make me pay for my sins. I must do whatever it takes to silence them. They say you're only as good as your last book. I know you're only as good as your next lie. Dun dun dun. And that is all we have for today. It was kind of a quieter week for crime fiction. Even more lies, yes. Well, tomorrow we'll be looking at romance. We do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, go for 2.5 hours. So, last night was adventuresome. I had to take Steve to the ER. He slipped and broke his wrist. So we were up late last night. Didn't get home till almost 11. So I'm hoping maybe I can take this afternoon off. We shall see. But, just be careful out there, please. Be safe, be warm, and that's why they're called accidents, yes. Oh, no. Yeah, he was snow plowing and was putting it away and slipped on the cement of our extra garage. And that's how accidents happen. And it was -6 degrees out and bleh. But we are blessed. It's his left wrist, not his right arm. He didn't hit his head. He did not break a leg. He called me right away. So we are very blessed it was not worse. So, as I say, everybody, please be safe out there. Hope it heals quickly. Yeah, me too, because he's not the best patient. I'm just saying. So, hope to see you tonight or tomorrow. If you want to bring a friend, that's great too. We would love to grow. And as the banner says here, now I got to go gas my car because I'm nearly out because I was not anticipating an extra trip. So, as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom. Have a good day and God bless. Thank you, Mary. Hope today goes well for you for sure.